An imperative disclaimer before we begin. This is to date the most long-winded and useless deconstruction of a style I failed to properly adopt. The arithmetic, the methods, and all of what I said is entirely made up. You have been warned.
For whatever reason, I'm not able to stream or video screen share my dude. Hold on. It's this thing. The air server thing won't. It's just stupid. It's not good and bad and won't do what I need. So here we're going straight analog. I don't even know how to describe what. Just look at all that. I mean, look at all that. What is all that? So if I get the idea, you can probably just take like a. This is gonna be a problem. You can probably just take like a little shape like that, and then just be like, okay, now fill it with random shit. Like, I don't know. People do stuff like that a lot. See, like with the building and stuff here. Look at that. They just do a lot of that. They do a lot of like, what? You see see that stuff? They do like they just. Ugh. They do a lot of that, like GPU wires. They do a bunch of GPU wires. When they add this crap, just some lines. What did they add it? I don't even get it. What is the what's the logic behind it? Look, what do you add? What if you add a circle, man? Oh, and you give it one of those things? I don't know what that is. This? What is that? But they have it here. I bet I can search for one. Look at that. Look over. Look at the. See, there's some circles right there. There's a little. So arbitrary, but it looks like it works, you know. But what if there was like a? Is that what you think about? Is that you think like, what if there was a wire here? But what if there was like a panel? What if there was like a panel there, or what? What if this whole thing was just its own little panel right there? What if it had like just? What if someone stapled it together? See? What if someone stapled it together? What if there was another big old panel right here? You don't know what that does, but I'm making it convincing. What if there's more staples? Nails? There's another circle here. This is how you have to think about these things. What if I can give an illusion of rotation. If I do the same thing, but I put it on that side instead, it goes up here instead of around there. Oh shit, what do you do next? What if I just fragmented it like it was little teeth on there? I don't know. Oh, jeez. if I did all, I can't take that back. That's so. No, I don't want that. But how would I know I don't want that? This is not a real technology. This isn't real. Is that the fun of it? Is that how I get the? How does it? Ugh. What if there was just more crap here? Oh shit. What if? What if there was just more crap right here? Ah, fuck. The wind is. There's just more shit right here. Wait, no, no, I don't know. What? The wind. It's too big. It's too much. What if I put more stuff right here? Do like if the no. Oh, what do I do? I don't get it. I don't get what the logic behind any of it is. How do you do guesswork for something that's supposed to look like it's functional? And see, I think a lot of it has to just come down to just squiggling it. You know? Like, screw this. Hold on. What if I use this little pencil tool? Something a little more ambiguous. What if okay, a new shape. Sure. What if you did like, yeah, see, you don't even know. You don't even know that I don't know what I'm You don't know what. You don't even know. When I do it like this, you don't even know. You don't get it any more than I do. But I'm casting an illusion to make it seem like I got more. Shit. Oh no. Actually, I really don't. I don't get it. How do you, fuck. What? It just doesn't make any sense. What if I put like a little, what if it was like, oh, there's a slot right here or something? For what, though? Like, what is all this? What, like, what? That looks ridiculous. I don't get man, what? I don't know. I don't know what this is. I couldn't tell you what the hell this is. And if I could, I don't know if I should. This kind of technology should not belong to man, nor animal. What have I done? What is this? Like, what is this? Okay, what if I zoom out? Does it look cooler? Oh, shit. You kind of get it. It just seems there's just a lot of wires and stuff everywhere. Like it looks little plugs and wires and stuff everywhere. Oh, well, if it did this too, and it goes, everything plugs into everything. It's like little hoses and stuff. Why does everything plug in? Why does it plug in? Everything. Why does it plug into anything? I mean, how did I even do it? How did I end up drawing this at all? Like, I was just trying to. I mean, obviously, I was just. I mean, huh? Well. Whatever.
Don't give up, you got a reason to live. Can't forget, we only get what we get.
See, what he was trying to say is that there are many intricate and different little structures inside of very simplistic shapes, like within a circle or a little square or something like that, but usually occupying these little thingies are shapes like the little wires that you'd see in just about any other type of technology, and things that hold them together, that brace the two things around each other, like things like screws, things like plating or whatever, with little nuts and bolts attached to them all over the place, or even things that attach like little gears around these things, just teeth in general, or like maybe even little zipper stuff or whatever, what so have you. Point being is that many of these notable things are referred to from like stuff like this, or stuff like that, or you know, just
Many dedicated nights and endless hours of arduous skill building went into the making of this material. I have not known rest, as every ounce of my ability to craft and dissect said craft is only granted to me by enduring the intense burdens that come with this line of work. Here, before you, lies a man of conviction, steadiness, and overall, and moreover, and also, and as well as, and is, very, and is, a very and, a powerful person of man. Don't look him in the eyes, he might just install you a new cunt. And you would not like having a new cunt, as they bleed. They bleed without asking, and make you really stupid and shop uncontrollably. I just might force that upon you. I mean, he might force that upon you. Forced cunt installation is legal in his state, so the next time you think you are incapable of learning code or reviewing polyrhythmic noise bands, think again. And don't think too close to him, either. Thoughts are like code, and I can delete yours. I can make you forget your keys or how to speak English. And if you don't speak English, I will force you to only speak English, then everyone in your town will call you mean names like Pasty Abe, Gringo, and Negro, and Tyler, Kev. Shit, that's not even a full name. You crackers crack me up. Polly won a cracker and Jimmy cracks them over corn. Corny cracker, silly cracker, the native plains are for my Buffalo Wild Wings, not your sexually confused teens and credit unions. Y'all niggas have me in a pretzel. Y'all niggas got a robot fucked up? Yeah, heard. They should bring back Senran Kagura VR to the States, so you niggas will never reproduce again. All I ask is a moment of peace from having to generate funds for a rabbi I do not know, in a fucking shit and piss dusted desert. But that's besides the point. Your new vagina will come pre-tested, used. But I will sell it as new, and you will have to wear it all day and night until you are fucking dead dead. Much like the shalom taxes you've not fought against for decades. So why would you dare fight me, a man of strength and nachos, who just wants to make you aware of the nature of womanhood, artificially and semi-legally. Semi-truck. A semi-truck loaded with fridge cold new pussies for the next pooter to look at me slanted. Vertically. Sans for horizontally. And you stand in my way. So get out of the way before you get into the way. The way of water. The way of. The way of. The way of the dragon. The making of. The DVD stupid ass. Get out of my sight, before I do something I'll remember. I love Korn so much. They're like the Gorillas. Not all their songs are at all good. It's a sea of mid, however, when a storm comes in, the sea starts to go fucking crazy. Look up Korn's performance of the song Blind in Woodstock 1999. The crowd looked like the slow motion ripples of an ass being smacked with 900 bottle rockets. I also like Gojira, because whales listen to them. And I listen to whales. And they told me you are a massive fat who's getting the new pussy, I threat you with, voluntarily. Better luck next time, homo sapien, godless monkey. You're a damn amoeba, this is why I am king, and super king. And I love new metalcore that sounds all glitchy. It's like what I miss about dubstep in guitar form. I guess it's called progressive metalcore, I don't really know. Anyone that tells me what shit like that is called, gets a new big alpha penis free of charge. A big ween. Dark ween. Dark ween is ween, but they all have girthy soft black dicks hanging out of their fly on stage.
There's not too many things I'm really readily aware of about the things that go into constructing, like, mechanized or robotic anatomy. But from what my pattern recognition is telling me, it has a lot to do with utilizing a bunch of primary shapes, or just what the platonic solids or something like that, and creating just overlaying a bunch of intricate, recognizable technological mumbo jumbo patterns on top of it. And there's like a line of logic that exists within those patterns that's recognizable to just about anybody, even if you don't know what any of those things do. There's no way that most people who illustrate mecha know exactly what certain components, like how they affect what, but they might have some residual ideas. They might have some remnants of like a thought around that, just from, like, I don't know, seeing underneath a car, looking inside of a computer, seeing, I don't know, just the inside of just about anything that operates mechanically. I think one of the biggest things that they recognize are like hoses, pistons, screws. Some of those are like really novice though. There's a difference between, or at least that I've noticed, a difference between, like, say, robots and like Japanese high-end technological, like fucking kick-ass looking tanks with bodies on top of them, or tanks made of bodies or some shit like that. I mean, it's almost a lot of them are constructed based on sort of militarized mechanical designs, like jets, or I'd say, I guess between jets and tanks, because the anatomy of both of those are kind of bulky. Like, the tank is bulky, it's more of like a trapezoid shape, and you have, I mean, even the treads would be in a trapezoid shape. And then a jet would be like a big old triangle. It's like it's a Dorito that has many different like components and plates on it that like cover the motherfucker, and they're like little hexagons. Not even little hexagons. They're like isosceles hexagons or some shit. There's never like a sharp angle to a lot of these things. There's always, at the corners, there's always one little cutoff, almost to, I guess, round it off. It makes it seem a little bit closer to like organic anatomy, which would be curves. But the closest thing you would get to a curve in a lot of these things would just be sort of I don't know, just actually cutting corners, just trying to like it's like the preliminary build of like a sculpture that you would see when people are like sculpting something out. They would just take like a big old cube and then they would just start chopping down at the bits until they get to whatever primary symmetrical line that they need before they start doing all the rest of the intricate details. So, to my understanding, most mecha is designed based off of the most basic of basic shape principles, but you stay there, and there's only specific aspects of the design that gets treated with more of the sensitive and like complex anatomy, which would involve like bolts and fucking brackets and all this shit. But they're made up. Like it all has to be made up, but intuitively made up. Like I said, it still has to make sense in some way. So, as a complete novice and amateur to the entire craft, what's fascinating to me is that it. Well, I guess what stands out is the fact that it seems like you have to steep yourself into that realm 100%. There's like nothing else you think about, and there's nothing else that you see in reality. You always see things constructively. You always see things like how like the schematic of an engineer or something, like staring down at a blue. You're probably the kind of person who would like develop the dexterity, or would even want to develop the dexterity to illustrate blueprints for certain things. Like this, that's the kind of like there's plenty of, I guess there's a few illustrated examples I've noticed where like you zoom in on a certain picture of like mecha or like a Gundam thing, and it's just it's clear that there wasn't too much attention to making everything incredibly like straight or like sharp, or like making the details like not too obscure. It was like it was just like the fundamental illustration it was enough to get the point across. Like some of these, like a lot of, like the line consistency will be such that it just it's supposed to kind of trick your eye into seeing that there's like a complex mess there, and there some of the techniques will try to, I guess solidify some of the ideas, just to conceptualize a solid idea of like which component goes to what, which also leads to another thing that allows certain parts of the body to articulate. But otherwise, it's gobbledygook. But it has to be not really recognizable gobbledygook. It has to be reasonable gobbledygook. It's all part of a filler of the illustration, but without it, it would look like it would look incomplete, and like certain aspects of the illustration are not. It just doesn't. It wouldn't even look like a mech if you didn't have those little complex parts. Even though that those areas are, there's a way to illustrate them loosely and make them kind of abstract, and not be as consistent about where those pieces are within certain components, within like certain panels. It's it's weird. It's insane, and it's like really fucking cool. So I'm struggling to even use words to describe it, but I feel like I have to, because it's so complex that it needs some kind of like verbal exchange to make sense of some of it. At least I haven't even know. Not that I'm not in any of those circles, so I don't like the most of the constructive conversations around the design of these things is usually around like the lore of whatever the fucking show is. Boring as hell. I don't care about that. I mostly care about what it took to even like make, because you're taking the complexity of like what is essentially a background and turning it into a person. You're personifying a background. That's what a mech would be, as far as I've noticed. Or even just again, if you can deal with robotic designs or like I don't know, the little components of those things, like with what are the like with like a Ghost in the Shell, that one Ghost in the Shell illustration or something like that. That's like the same principle for the most part. The only thing that's different is that it's not the outside, the shell of the thing doesn't look like a battle crab, which is also a good point to make. I think also crustaceans play a huge role in the way that a lot of mech designs look. Sometimes they don't look entirely between that and I guess gorillas or something. I mean, there's a lot of Western design mechs that look like, for example, like the ones in Avatar, the blue one, not the arrow guy. The blue ones, they had the little mechs that they had was like little military mechs. They always had they were like headless chickens. It was so, but you see that in a lot of different ones. Like if there's like a sci-fi movie and they're like excavating some shit on one of Jupiter's moons or some shit, and they have to go in with like a super spacesuit. Like they're in their regular spacesuit, but now they need like a robotic spacesuit that's like an external, like an extension of the guy. It always has like a headless design with little legs but very long arms, and usually the hands are not hands. They don't articulate usually well. They're like pincers, or some shit like that. And that's mad boring. I don't like how those look. There's so much more like design, the gold. There's so much more to like get out of like just a basic Gundam thing because of those fascinating shapes like hexagons that are like elongated, or like these like the different like angles in which you show like how panel design works. Like it's not just like one panel separated by another one and like just a straight line. It's always something a little bit more intricate than that. Something not necessarily asymmetrical, but something that has it just looks like it's built with more purpose in mind. It's not just blocky, and I think that's that's how like just like a cartoon robot Jones type shit would be separated from like some Pacific Rim shit, which I guess again is like, wait, where'd Pacific Rim specifically come from? I don't know. I saw the movie in America with Americans, so I'm gonna assume that Pacific Rim is an American thing, but it might not be. I'm not sure. But otherwise, I think between it's I don't know. It's still, obviously I'm still like learning about it, but there's having like embarked on it a little bit. I think between noticing that there's like stuff like, I don't know, noticing that there's stuff like like just utilizing what people know about. No, not even like that. Like noticing how people take simple shapes, because I mean to try to even do any, I think, what was the first sort of mech I even tried to draw? I guess it was like sort of Gurren Lagann stuff or whatever, but I mean, even in just like doing certain builds or whatever, it was like it's all about noticing what, I mean, you do with every illustration. You have to notice what is the most simple shape that this thing takes, and then you truncate it into what it actually is. So I've noticed that there is a unique utilization of squaring, of squares, of circles and triangles, and like I said, hexagons and octagons, which are just it's a combination of some of those other shapes. But with the circles, I've noticed is used mostly like circle patterns you would use specifically for either tubing, bolts, and like missiles, I guess. It's just so things that almost looks like it's supposed to be like missiles or something, like I guess, I don't know, but that's usually what you would see those for. I haven't seen them used in any other capacity. Oh, I guess exhaust ports as well, of course. Yeah, So trying to master the art of those and then having an idea of where those would be placed, even when you're just doing guesswork, you're just like, I don't know, I'm just fucking scribbling some shit down. I mean, I don't actually know I don't know the process. They probably do sit down and think about the entire thing and like how all these different parts actually interact with each other. I mean, obviously they think about that when they design like gunpla for people to like put together, which is an insane job to have for one. Like I can't imagine, because you have certain grades have pieces that are the size of like a quarter the size of a grain of rice, and having any kind of machine to be able to create something that's that small, and then you have to like test out to see if the motherfucker even works over and over again. Like that's, I mean, that's the realm of thought you're dealing with, which is why it's a very unique art form. Because when it comes to organic art form, sometimes people only have to like just goon, and they'll just be good at fucking like drawing chicks, which is pretty much all you have to do, I guess. Or if you're like a huge fight nerd, if you love fighting or like stuff like that, it's just like combat stuff, like just hand to hand combat things, just exaggerated in like a shonen form, then you're gonna learn how to draw guys pretty well. But with mechs, it's definitely, it's so much more of like an educated realm of study, because I think every other realm of like artistic study when it comes to organic things requires much. It's not, your IQ doesn't have to be that high. You don't have to think about too many things that much, because so many things about the organic realm is up to interpretation. Despite the fact that mecha is also the same way, they're not real, but it's the inherent nature of mechanical things is to be as steeped into reality as possible. Like, because it's non-organic, meaning that it doesn't heal itself, it doesn't grow, it is what it is. It's built. It's not born. And you have to give that impression while also juxtaposing with the fact that it's like, you know, like a toaster is also built on the same principles that I said a mech is. It's just a mech is supposed to mimic anatomy. So that's the juxtaposition there. The fact that it's something inorganic, mimicking the form or enhancing the form, extending the form of something that is organic, but with a variety of different inspirations to make it what it is. So, I don't know, keeping all of that in mind, even just doing a fraction of this work is like insanity, because you begin to understand what looks bad to you, what begins to look kind of corny, or what looks kind of like monotonous or whatever. Like, oh yeah, I can tell. My brain actually shut off, and I'm desperately trying to go back into like organic drawing mode, and it's causing me to make stupid mistakes or make things look really dumb. And that doesn't feel good at all, because the end product just won't look as cool anymore, and you'll end up creating something that looks boring and generic because of that. And then you'll start to understand very quickly that, like, oh, I get it now. I understand what the difference between my mind and an Asian mind is. I'm like, I can do things that are smart, but I can't combine it with aesthetically pleasing things. That's because it's hard to juggle. It's hard to juggle because aesthetics is a form of like logic that in order to create it, you have to be in the midst of just like a flow state. It's like creating the right beat, you know? It's a lot like that. And I don't know who else will like agree with this, but like the mechanical designs is, and anything that's like deals with like straight lines or whatever, it as far as a music relation, it feels more percussive. So because it's so basic, it's the basic things are usually built in like the basic shapes, and like polygons is like polyrhythms. It's that's just how my mind's working around it, and it also might have something to do with the fact that the Linkin Park Reanimation album had like a pseudo Gundam on the front of it, so I kind of associate some percussive, almost hip hop element with that kind of design. But I don't, it works for me because you have to, because there's not a lot of curves or any abstractions. You do have to when you illustrate things with all these with like mechanical straight lines and all this. You have to keep in mind the number of intricacies you create, and like when you create like a line separating panels. How interesting is that line? Are you making it too interesting for the sake of complexity, or is it like stylistically and even functionally fascinating and like good? It is. There's ways to recognize that. There's ways to test that. There's ways to kind of just like squint your eyes and feel like, is that right? Am I doing too much or am I doing too little? And then you begin to start problem solving in that realm, and you're actually thinking about what like brings this mechanical thing to life without actually having any real reference of what actually brings something like that to life realistically. But that also exposes a much deeper element to what illustration even is. Something that would be overlooked if you're just focused in a realm of like pure aesthetics alone, if you're not dealing with anything that involves way more patience, care, or whatever the hell, something that allows you to like kind of slow things down and use a different part of your mind to illustrate, and then realizing how many people not only deal with that professionally, but the ones who deal with that in a way that they have to like animate the motherfucker as well. It's total insanity, but it's really cool. And so far, I guess with my practice, it hasn't been like, okay, I guess the Unit 2 thing was sort of practice with mechs as well. Probably one of the more recent examples aside from like the Ghost in the Shell thing. That was probably the most intricate as far as like robotic elements go, but like it was the same techniques. Same things where you see little cylinders there holding some components of some kind. You see tubing, you see the soldering, you see like motherboard shit, you see like plates of like some fucking form, you see things, little brackets holding things together, you see all kinds of stuff intersected with each other to sort of make this fucking thing, this metal thing. But yeah, this has been it's getting easier to revisit every time, because I know for a fact this is gonna be like, because again it's literally personifying like background art type of things, but yeah, it's more like taking a gun and making a person out of it too. Anytime I've had to illustrate a weapon, it feels sort of the same way. Where you have to worry about a little bit more consistency of like a straight line or something like that. But even with like a rough pen, there's the type of illustrated illusions, the trick to show that you're like doing more than you actually are. Those are like necessary. Those are pretty. God, it's just interesting. So that, yeah. Well, speaking of the devil, yeah, okay. So yeah, heck, I mean, I'd say that's about all I have to say on that fucking front. Because I mean, I don't know what the fuck. There's just so much shit. God.